Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Billy Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
What's up? It's going. A lot happening in wrestling. A lot of craziness happening in wrestling. Some good, some not so good.
Absolutely, yes. And we're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
Yay! Elimination Chamber. Woo!
Yeah, and that is about the level of excitement that I have for this pay-per-view as well. So before we get started, because I know that there is some news to get into, I just have to say this because I feel as though this is a very important message that I want to deliver. I just want to be the first to say that I want to declare that we are now in a state of emergency because we need funding for a better WWE product. So if anybody wants to donate money to somehow get Vince out of power and make a better WWE product, please do so immediately because we desperately need it. So yes. On that note, now let's get into a few news topics. So Dana, I know there's a few things you had that you wanted to mention, so the floor is yours.
Okay, well, first off, I have to just start by saying that I have seen an advanced screening of Fighting with My Family. I believe it drops tomorrow or tonight. I went in there, honestly, before I watched it, I really wasn't interested in the movie, and I kind of felt that this should not have been made with the subject on page for the simple fact that I know WWE is trying to cross over and reach a much larger crowd. And I feel that Paige's story is kind of only known to fans that are wrestling fans. And she hasn't had that crossover, say, like The Rock did or Hogan. So I was kind of like, I don't really know. And yes, she's come from a family of wrestlers, but so did The Rock. And I just kind of wasn't really, she was the topic that they decided. When I finally saw the movie, I completely did a 180. It is one of the most fun movies I have seen this year so far. It follows her from the age of 13, and she is wrestling with her family, and how her and her brother, they have a close bond, and their goal is to enter into the WWE and to make it through NXT and to get that call up. And their bond is tested because if you don't know the story, only one of them really makes it. And it deals with a lot of jealousy, trying to fit in. Paige working in NXT, and the girls, they are skinny and blonde, and they're cheerleaders. And Paige is the complete opposite. She's short, she's a little, she's very pale, she's the black hair, like she's half dead. And they address that in the movie as well. And I felt that was very honest.
Did they go through the whole thing of when she first tried out and was rejected?
No.
They don't go on that.
No. What they do is instead is she tries out and she's the only one picked. They don't go through that rejection.
Oh, because remember that was the whole thing. It said she came back with that new look. That look was by choice. That dark look.
Right. No, that she was originally had that look in the movie. And then she tried to change everything to be blonde and bronze because of the bullying she kind of faced and how unsure she was of herself, like she didn't fit in. So her way of fitting in was to dye her hair and to make her skin darker. So that's how they did it. But the strongest point of the whole movie is the relationship that she has with her brother. And how it takes a downturn basically, because out of the two of them depicted in the movie, he is the one who really wants to go into WWE. She's kind of like, I'm doing this for my family. And because of that, they have this massive falling out. And overall, it's not exactly original. We've seen like the underdog story movies before, but it is so well done and fun, and the script is good. The people who are in it are hilarious, And one of the weird points that I will say is when Zelina was playing AJ Styles. Not AJ Styles, sorry, AJ Lee. That was kind of like the weirdest thing. She tries her best, but it's just, she's not AJ Lee at all. So it's just weird watching that. But other than that, I strongly recommend this movie. It is the best WWE film. So, yay.
But it's not a WWE film, right? This is not. This is The
WWE
Rock's.
Premium.
Is it? Is it theirs? I thought it was just The Rock in his studio, and he was promoting it, and they were just working with him on it.
He's the executive producer.
Okay.
But it's under the WWE Studios umbrella.
Well, that'll answer a lot of people's questions when they're like, well, I saw that crazy stuff that she posted with her and her ex-boyfriend and the whole thing. How did they not fire her? Well, this is why. They had money invested in this story.
Money invested in her. And the movie is WWE Studios and MGM. They did it.
Mm-hmm.
And Big Show is in there. Sheamus is in there.
Okay.
As well. So it's good.
Yeah, I've seen some reviews already about it, and they said it's good for if you go into it, it's just a movie. Don't go into thinking it's like a wrestling story and that you need to be the wrestling fan to know it.
No, you can be anyone.
You can be anyone. They said it's very loose with a lot of things. It adds a lot of comedy elements. Her family was very known overseas, obviously in England. Her dad had a promotion and was doing the whole thing. The mom also was a wrestler. So they expect that it's going to perform much better overseas than it will here in the States.
Yeah. And they address all that in the movie as well. And there's tension all throughout. It's very good.
Yeah, because I remember she once talked about it. It was like dad was like 40 something, mom was like 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
There was a huge age gap.
Yep. And they was on drugs originally and they were homeless. And it's all addressed. And they have like the wrestling school and how there's a student that they taught who's blind. And he's like really a standout, that whole performance that the guy gives. And just the movie itself is just really heartwarming. So I recommend it.
All right. Yeah, I think it looks fun. It looks fun for what it is. You know, I mean, it's if anybody wants to find or see a movie that makes them cry and brings that whole heartfelt, like, damn, life as a wrestler is hard. Watch The Wrestler. Holy crap!
Oh yeah, The Wrestler.
The Wrestler, man. That Mickey Rourke, he did it. Then he got into wrestling, and that was a little crazy when he started actually wrestling. I need to see all that, but yeah, that was
Beyond the Mat. Beyond the Mat is really like.
Well, that's a documentary. Yeah, if you want to go to see a documentary, yeah, definitely Beyond the Mat. That's really one of the saddest scenes ever. Seeing freaking Jake the Snake in an alleyway shooting up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to see that.
No. It's tragic.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have Jimmy Uso has currently been arrested in Detroit after trying to literally fight the police. He was drunk.
Fake news.
Very
I'm calling fake news on it.
How's it fake news?
I'm calling, and I want to see the dash cam on this one because from what we saw, well, what we heard, and how Naomi explains it, is that he was drunk, so she was driving. She was unfamiliar with the area, went down the wrong street, right? The wrong way on a one-way street. So, of course, the cop pulls him over, no problem. Comes over, starts asking questions. Says he smells alcohol in the vehicle. She says, yeah, my husband is drunk. You know, so I'm driving. We're not from here. I guess she gives her spiel. I'm sure she does. And so he's questioning all kinds of things. And of course, when you're drunk, certain people are happy drunks. Some are aggressive drunks. I have a feeling Uso, he's aggressive. And he didn't like some of the questions. And so he got out the vehicle and he's lucky he didn't get shot. Because one of the things that I've been pulled over, you don't get out the damn vehicle. You don't do any of that. And supposedly he got out and he stepped up to him. And right there, that's automatic, disorderly conduct. Plus he's intoxicated. Cop's going to win 100% of the time for that. But I don't believe that he would actually attack the cop and start fighting. I don't believe he would have gone that far.
I don't know. I don't know. But allegedly, he took off his shirt and his jacket, and he was trying to fight the police officers.
So, you know, then we got to see the dash cam, because you know that would definitely be on the dash cam. And if the truth, if that was the case, I think the WWE would have just suspended him. They wouldn't have just let this go. They're saying that, hey, he's responsible for his own actions. They released a statement. They didn't say anything about taking him off the pay-per-view.
No.
You know, and we've seen them do it before. We've seen them with Sabu and Rob Van Dam. We've seen them take action.
Mm-hmm. We have, but yeah, that's
you know, and it's not like there's not a plethora of tag teams in the back chomping at the bit. It's like, yo, my turn. Can we do this? Because we can step up. There's plenty of throw sanity. There you go. Throw sanity in there. Give them that push, or get Harper and Bray Wyatt. Put them back together. You're not doing anything with these guys. Put them back together, and there you go. They fill that spot. Well, as everybody knows, The Miz and Shane should not be tag team champions. What a waste! Smack in the face to all the boys in the back.
Well, don't worry. They won't be holding those belts for too much longer. That's going to change sooner rather than later.
Man, I'm telling you, seeing another boss's kid get over. Come on.
Oh yeah, well, hey, according to them, that's what the fans want, right?
No. That's not what the fans want. Fans don't want that. He's entertaining, but he shouldn't be champ. He shouldn't be throwing himself in main event matches. Throw yourself in one of the other matches. You know, just get involved in other things. Don't put yourself as a star. Why are you paying all these other people to do it then? And supposedly he's double dipping. He's collecting 2 checks. He's listed as a talent also.
Yeah.
Like, man,
that's true.
So I know you have some news.
Which one? Oh well, yeah, some of them. Which about the Kenny Omega? Some people may know this. The Kenny Omega and the Jericho. Jericho was talking, and I think it was Jericho or Kenny. One of them were being interviewed, and they were talking about, well, we had all these great ideas. I'm pretty sure it was Jericho who talked about it, though, and he said that, yeah, there were other things he had planned in New Japan, and it's still going to go forward with that, and that Jericho and Kenny Omega both have this working deal with New Japan. They could still do certain events. They're not full-timers. They're full-timers with AEW, which is offering health benefits. You get health insurance. That's crazy. I'm like, what health insurance agrees to partner with a wrestling promotion? You know what I mean? It's like their co-pays must be ridiculous. Like that. It's just got to be crazy. But that's cool. And they're seen as employees, not contractors. That's also cool. But linked to all that, they said that those two have this loose sort of working contract feel that they can still do stuff with New Japan. They didn't mention anything about Ring of Honor or other promotions, but definitely said with New Japan. And so, as we know, New Japan and Ring of Honor have that big show that they're doing in Madison Square Garden. First time New Japan on the East Coast. And a lot of people say, man, remember Wrestle Kingdom? So many big name stars left New Japan. And it's sad, like Young Bucks and Cody and all of that, and Kenny and Jericho. But I wouldn't be surprised then if this is the case, then we see at least one of these guys get announced to have some kind of match at that Madison Square Garden. I mean, how, even if you don't want to work with that promotion, you still want to be part of that historic event. Yeah. I know I would. I definitely would. Well, that's history. So,
yeah, I agree with that, and I think that also from a business standpoint, because then that'll get even more eyes on AEW. If
I don't think we would. Well, yeah, but I don't think he's going to come down with an AEW. I don't think New Japan is going to be that relaxed.
No.
But here's the thing with that. Now that I think about it, this is the shit I don't get, because Cody came out and Matt Jackson came out, and they were talking about they want to work with all promotions, which is great, right? They don't want to be another WWE or, WCW, where it's like, no, it's just us and that's it. They want to work with everyone. It's sort of like a Ring of Honor type of model. But then you signed wrestlers, exclusive deals. That was the whole thing with Ring of Honor not offering big money contracts, because they're like, well, you guys can work elsewhere besides us, so you could make your money elsewhere. But they signed big money contracts to a lot of these people. And they're like exclusive contracts. So I'm sort of not sure how do you plan on working with other wrestling promotions then and doing those type of deals? How does that whole thing work? Are you sharing talent? Are you going to be co-eventing, shows like what's going on with New Japan and Ring of Honor, those type of things? Or what was it? War of the Worlds? Was that what it was called? Worlds Collide. Remember that? Where they do like this big New Japan versus Ring of Honor, and then they threw in some other group in it. But eventually Wrestle Kingdom turned out to be the same thing. Where they would get a lot of wrestlers from out of the promotions, a lot of the indie ones would show up, a lot of Ring of Honor eventually started showing up. So I don't know.
Well, I think it's funny to hear that, especially after Kenny Omega said he's a full-time AEW talent.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think it's going to be by special event type of thing, and probably based off of money.
Yeah,
if they pay him for big money events, and if he's not booked for anything with AEW, it's not with any conflicting events. It's like, all right, go do it. But if you're going to do that, you're going to set him up for a program. You're not going to set him up for a one-off.
Oh, well.
So hey. I don't know. I mean, I think they should all work. I think all of them should work together. I think it sounds better. It sounds great on paper, but we know that's not how it's going to work out because everybody has their own deals. It's already getting all mumble jumbled with some of the content when it comes to digital content because All In is part of the Ring of Honor Fight Network. That's on that system there. But if the rumors are true, which I don't think it's too much of rumors. I think they actually said they were talking to ESPN and a few other ones, but we definitely know ESPN has their own on-demand service, paid on-demand service too. They have the free one, well, not free, but part of cable. Then they have on top of that sub, that ESPN Plus. And everybody got woken up to that real quick when ESPN picked up UFC. And then most of the big UFC fight nights were put on that paywall, behind the paywall. It's $4.99 a month, $5 extra. But if you're already paying for cable, kind of sucks. Because all right, I'm paying for cable. You guys picked up these fights. I want to tune in to watch the channel that I pay for, and now I can't because now I got to pay an extra $5. And we're seeing that across the board. What was it the other day watching Walking Dead? I'm still watching it. It's dragging out. Why? I read the comics and I whatever. That's my own thing. I watch it just because it's the force of habit, Sunday night habit. But they announced about their premium service. That's what they call it, their premium. So I looked up the premium, and then sure enough, it's a pay service, and a lot of the content their Walking Dead episodes are gonna be on there, but with exclusive content. I think they're gonna be a little longer or something like that. I'm like, what? Yeah, they're gonna make them a little bit more, and then of course. Andy Lincoln, I think that's it, or is it Andrew Lincoln, the character that played Rick? He's doing movies, and those movies are going to be done behind the paywall, but they're Walking Dead related movies. So he's going to be as Rick in these movies, and those are going to be exclusive to that premium service. So I'm like, And of course, we saw with CBS with Star Trek Discovery, and they're bringing back the Twilight Zone. That's all behind the pacer. We're just seeing all these other services. So at one point when it was like, oh yeah, cut the cord, this is how you save money. And no, it's turning out to be more expensive for those that wanted to cut the cord. And now it's ruining it for people that didn't cut the cord.
Oh yeah.
And it's all relates back to wrestling. Don't want to drift too far, but it just all relates back because if AEW does go with ESPN, that could be one of the issues that we come across where, oh, wow, they have some matches, but if they do like a main event or whatever, a special event, not pay-per-view, but, on that level, you got to go watch ESPN Plus and fork over another $4.95 a month.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to suck.
Well,
but who else was they talking? I think, was it Fox? It wasn't Fox because Fox is there was someone else. TBS. That was it. TBS. So. We'll see. It's CBS and that one and ESPN. Those are the two big networks, suppose, that they were talking with. So,
yeah, we'll see about that. My philosophy is, I will believe it when I see it, because they haven't announced anything yet as far as that deal is concerned. You know, there was a rumor I heard that they are planning to have that show start in October, which ironically is when SmackDown is going to be on Fox. But again, we haven't seen anything yet.
Did you hear about the Fox deal?
What
supposedly, and I saw a few reports. I gotta find the article. If anybody wants to look it up, just look up Fox FS1, SmackDown on FS1. Supposedly, the Fox has decided that they are going to move SmackDown to FS1 and not to the Fox proper.
Oh, whoa! Well, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that story because I remember that came up.
So wait, Dana, have you heard about this?
Sorry, I was muted.
Uh-oh.
I did not see. The thing is with that, it wasn't anything set in stone. It was more like it could happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up now. Let me see if I could find this.
Yeah.
Like overall, it really doesn't surprise me. I think it has to do more with the fact that WWE, the product right now, is not very good.
Yeah, ringsidenews.com had that story where they were hearing that it could possibly be moved to FS1. That's one of the ideas that's going around.
To piggyback off of what Dana was saying, I did hear about that, and I've also heard that if the ratings were as bad as they are now when they negotiated this deal with Fox, then there's no way Fox would have given them as much money as they did. So
yeah, and they're WWE's in a tough spot. They're in a very tough spot right now because I'm sure, and man, it's books. We want real books. I like when we see these biopics and also, but I want like a real story. Somebody tell me. That's what I love so much about Bruce Pritchard, because I feel at least 85% of what he's talking about on his show is legit of events that happened during his tenure over there. It's 20-something years when he recalls these stories of situations and things that happened and interactions. But man, I'm sure a lot of stuff is going on behind the scenes with this, with Vince, because all we ever hear when writers leave WWE, go elsewhere, they say, hey, we heard you guys. We know the ones you want to push. We know the storylines that you had ideas. We had the same ideas. And next thing you know, we run it through Vince, and Vince just shuts it down, rewrites everything day of, and that's it. So we always hear it. We always hear it. Even Dave Meltzer's always talking about how, from what he hears from his sources, Raw is constantly getting rewritten the night of. 2-3 hours before the show, everything gets rewritten. So what's the point of having writers? What's the point? If it's all about you, and I get it, it's your company. But if you're still stuck in your old mentality that bigger, stronger is better, then why did you even pick up any of the talent that you have now? If you're always going to go with the whole, oh, well, they're the big guy. Like even when they were giving Finn Balor this new, the latest updated push, and Vince was in the ring, he's like, do you think you could really beat this man? Do you really? Like looking down, I'm like, look at you. Instantly, and then doing the whole David and Goliath. Oh yeah, the story from the Bible. Come on now. Stop with that. You're undermining your own product. You're undermining your own talent. He's not a jobber. He's not a nobody. You're paying this guy big bucks. He's making over $1 million, including all the other goodies.
Oh yeah.
Treat him with some respect and say, hey, you could easily beat him. All right, I want to see this match. You want to see this match? Let's do this. Don't undermine him, and don't play that whole underdog thing. Don't pull that. We saw that run into the ground with the Big Show and Mysterio years ago. Remember?
Yep. Oh yeah, and since you brought that up, let's go ahead and let's mention this also. The incident that has everybody angry now about what happened on Raw with Becky Lynch, Triple H, Stephanie, Vince, and Charlotte. Obviously, everybody wants to see Becky versus Ronda as a one-on-one match, but we all knew that Charlotte, one way or another, you have to have her in WrestleMania one way or another. So either they're going to ride out the storyline where she ends up in that match as a triple threat, or eventually they'll have her face Asuka, since they completely neglected Asuka as champion. Now Asuka has no opponent now for WrestleMania. So,
but you know why, right?
Well, why is that?
Because it's what's best for business. The ratings haven't. Think about it. That's what he said. They said. Think about it. The ratings haven't proven anything. They're giving Becky the push, just like a Steve Austin push, right? Same thing with authority and fighting, and she's coming out, I'm the man, and she's doing the whole little head nod and playing a badass. Okay, whatever. I'm already over it. But that's what they're pushing. And then they're looking at the numbers. People have to understand everything is planned. There's a reason that she's getting the opening segments for Raw and SmackDown every week.
Yeah.
The shows are starting with her because they want to see if there's an increase in numbers. They want to see, is she a draw? They did it with The Rock. They did it with Triple H. They did it with Austin. And the numbers prove it because people see them on. They pick up their phone. Now they text, hey, Steve Austin is on. He's about to cut a promo. Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to hear what he has to say. The Rock is on. He's going to, obviously, he was awesome with his promos. They were hilarious. Of course, you're going to tune in. So they wanted to see, is that going to happen? And it hasn't been proven that she's a draw. the crowd, the live crowd, they're all in it. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. But the viewers at home, it doesn't look like they are.
I think that happens to just be, sad circumstances based on the fact that WWE hasn't been good for a while and those fans are going elsewhere. Yep. So they may not really know about Becky because they're elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. So no, it could be. Well, that's it. And I believe that, I'm sure that's part of it, which is why they continue to put her in the opening spot. She's opening on Raw and SmackDown. If anyone has the app, you get the notifications and it says, "Oh, Becky is going to be on Raw again." Right off the bat at USA Network. I mean, they're letting everybody know, "Hey, tune in. She's going to be here." And at least for me, I can care less. It's something about I can care less because I don't like the way they treat Asuka with this whole thing. Because here it is. Becky comes out. We saw the Rumble. She lost her match against Asuka. Clean. She tapped. Done. She comes back later, wins the Rumble. Then she has the nerve from Raw to come out and tell Ronda that she's going to beat her. Did you see how I won on the Rumble? When the best comeback that Ronda could have said is, yeah, and I also saw you tap at the Rumble. And if you haven't noticed, I do arm bars, and I'm going to make your ass tap. They could have easily, and that would have shut that down. There you go. You went from hot to cold because that's what you did. You lost. So, yeah, you got lucky in the Rumble throwing everybody else, but on a one-on-one match, you can't hang, and you tapped. But they don't even acknowledge that, and it's like they don't even point anything at Asuka. Look, you have a badass. It's like, and again, it all comes back to, it's got to be the English. That's it. Oh, she can't cut a good promo. You can't do English. Oh, all right, well, we'll do with we're gonna push Becky, because think about it, Asuka should still be listed as the top female wrestler there. I mean, she's awesome. Ronda is a big name, but when it comes to in-ring, she's not there yet. She's getting there, but she's not there yet. If anybody's there yet from that new group, is Baszler. Baszler's good to go. Baszler, if there was a meter, she's already at the top. Bing, 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 bing. She's red hot. She's primed, ready. Just put her out on the show floor. She's good. Just like Velveteen, these people are ready to go.
I agree.
But they want to keep pushing this whole Becky thing and see where that goes. Okay, fine. But I just didn't like that. That really pissed me off. That they didn't even acknowledge that she even had a match and that she lost a match via tap out. They just kept saying, yeah, I saw, I was at the Rumble. You watched that, right? You saw that I won. And I was waiting for the comeback. I was like, go ahead, say, yeah. And I also saw you tap. Nope, they didn't do it. And I was like, they really think we're that stupid. The writers, everyone's just like, oh, damn, they don't remember that. They don't remember that. It's the damn same pay-per-view. We saw it. It wasn't like it was at a house show or something and we're bringing up some BS. This was on the same damn card.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I know Vince definitely does remember anything that happens from on a night-to-night basis.
So I just don't. That whole segment there, and I think that's why I think what's best for business and the way they see it is to get Flair involved. Is she gonna? Are they gonna do a triple threat? Maybe, maybe not. But I have a feeling they're trying to tease it to see if there's an increase of interest.
Yeah,
because they know Flair's over, and they don't seem to have anything for her right now. So like, well, we have to get her on the card somehow. And I'm like, oh, somehow you got plenty of talent. You got plenty of talent on NXT. You got plenty of talent. Hell, they just, what's her name? The psycho that they just picked up. Wow, man, the Scottish girl from Sanity. I always.
Are you talking about Nicky Cross?
Nicky Cross. Nicky Cross should have had a huge push coming in. They should have did the promos. They should have did the videos. She has an awesome gimmick. They could have really pushed her. She could have been the crazy one. But instead, they just like threw her on the show. Like, oh, she's just there. She's just on the show. What happened to the build-up? You did these promo videos. Like, there was something special about these people.
Exactly.
She should be a top main event girl right there. Top woman. Part of the upper echelon. She shouldn't have been at the bottom or doing the little side stories.
Yeah. And I recall when she did show up on SmackDown, she instantly tapped out to Becky Lynch. So yeah, they haven't been doing a good job. When we get to the predictions, definitely have to talk about whatever they have planned for Ruby Riott at the pay-per-view, because I do think I have a concern of that. So she is going against Ronda. So but yeah, we'll see. But before we get to that, was there anything else that you wanted to address?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, well, there was that other thing that happened, that rally, the AEW rally.
Yeah.
You know, and this, man, I guess I've been around for a long time. We've all been around. We've been watching wrestling for way too long. You know, it's like, it's one of those novellas that never end. And there's a bunch of them. We have Days Are Alive, General Hospital. Well, this is it. You know, and we've seen some of them fall, but we've seen these promotions like this come and go. Big money promotions come and go. And they all fall in the same trap. Even the most recent one, and was sad, was TNA. TNA shows up. They had the X Division. They had all these great lightweight guys. They're doing all this crazy moves, luchas aspect on it. It was awesome. And when they decided they wanted to start competing with WWE, which is a big no-no. I don't know why everyone feels they need. Why can't you just do your own thing? But what did they do? They started gobbling up a lot of the older names that were still free agents, started bringing people like Hogan and Bischoff and putting them in charge of certain elements. Like, yeah, help us get this talent. Oh, you got connected. Like, you know, every time someone left from WWE, they would show up at TNA. They would get a push. They would get the title. Christian got the title. Booker T got the title. Kurt Angle got the, you know what I mean? It was just one after another. Test shows, all these people. And you lose your view. You use your persona. Now you're just the drop-off point. Now you're where people go when WWE don't want them anymore. This is the leftover spot. You're no longer special. And that's my fear with all of this. And when I see all these, you know, on Reddit and all these chats, oh, so-and-so wants to come, or now Dolph Ziggler, now, or the Usos won out and a revival. And it's like, okay, you know, and Dean Ambrose, if anything, if I was AEW, I wouldn't want any of these guys. And it's not because of talent, they're talented. I just don't want that stigma. I don't want that vibe. It's like, yo, you just left there. Now you're here. And everyone's going to start saying that we're where the rejects go. Don't want that. We're too new. You know, cool off somewhere. Go to Japan. Do something else. Then come back after a while. Because then it's like, oh, well, we haven't seen him in a while. Don't do the same show up. Because a lot of people are saying that might happen with Dean. Because remember, Dean is not being released. His contract's expiring, which means there's none of that 90-day or, you know, no compete for a year. None of that. So literally, he could just show up on another show the next day if that's his plan, which I don't think it is. You know, but that's my fear, that they have this money and that they're going to get all this talent, and hopefully that won't happen. You know, so far from the names that they picked up, they're not going down that road. they're grabbing a lot of the indie guys. Yeah, they're grabbing people from Ring of Honor and stuff, but still, they're not huge names. They're huge to us and to people that follow wrestling religiously, but to the mainstream, no, they're not Dean Ambrose. They're not the Usos. Those are big WWE, throw the quotes of universe names. You talk to those people that follow just WWE, they know those off the bat. So if you tell them they're on another show, oh, I know who they are. It's going to be one of those things. I don't think that'll be a good look for AEW. Not at the beginning, and even later on, it's going to be tough. If they do bring these people, if you do bring these guys in, bring them in completely different. Don't go by their real name. Go with a whole other gimmick name. Dean Ambrose shows up, call him something completely different. Like when he was Moxley, do something like that. Go back to his old indie name.
You're saying that's if he goes there.
If he goes. But then also, you can't do it fresh. You got to have some cool off time for himself and for AEW. You can't just have people show up. People at first are like, yeah, that'll be great. But then that's not it's not going to give that view that they should be depicting to everyone about what type of promotion they are.
Yeah.
They have to show that they're different. They're promoting that they're different. Just by that rally, the talent that they showed, they're different. They got the Lucha brothers are going to be the Pentagon, Phoenix. They got those guys are going to be there. Hangman Page is there. It was just a bunch of Christopher Daniels. Spider-Man went against Macho Man. Remember in the Spider-Man movie, he's there. He was in Ring of Honor for years. He did some little time in WWE also. But those type of things. I mean, that's great. That's great. And they can build off of that. Kenny Omega, okay. And Kenny Omega he should be in politics because some of the things that he said about WWE and how they were courting him, and he was like, "Oh, I loved them. They were great. They were nothing but professional. They offered me this and that and all the stuff." But it's what best. He's smart. He's not burning that bridge because he also doesn't know what's going to happen with AEW.
Well, yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because I did read that interview too. And they kept saying that this is the risk because we felt if he went to WWE it would be too easy. So I do have respect for that. These guys are trying to be entrepreneurs.
Yep.
We'll see.
He said exactly what everyone was saying, and I'm glad that he said it to hear him say it because he said, "Well, I know why people want me in WWE. It's for the matchups." Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are over there now, and there's a lot of talent that I would love to work with. And I think that would be amazing. We would have amazing matches. But right now, creative-wise, he has more control over his character over in AEW and where he wants to go. Because he knows that once he goes to WWE, you hand that over. You're handing it over to Vince and saying, all right, do whatever you want with me. Because this is the agreement. You pay me buckets of money and then I do the song and dance for you. And it's difficult for guys, especially people like Kenny Omega, who are big guys on the indie scenes and big guys in other promotions, making tons of money already. So then the money part is not the lure to go to WWE. Mm-hmm. The lure is the talent that's already there, wrestling and doing all that stuff. And I think if there was no AEW, he would be there now. He would have just went. But there is an AEW, and they are his buddies. And there is a lot of money behind this. Mm-hmm. So, poof. And I think it's a multi-year deal, too. I think it was like 4 years or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're not offering these people. And I think certain talent has short term, but everyone seems to have like a year or 2 year deals. Yeah. They're thinking long term. What was it that the guy who owns the Jacksonville team, the football, he put in like $100 million, they said, into this. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And if they spend it wisely and don't blow it all on a big name, which is why that was the other thing. After the Rumble, I don't know if anyone saw this, but Jericho started tweeting some comments about Brock, basically calling Brock out.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm like, well, a big chunk of that would go to Brock if you did try to get Brock into AEW. And do you really want to do that?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to? Because Brock isn't going to show up to AEW to take the job. He's going to go beat one of whoever you put in front of him. So everybody knows that. So would you want to see Kenny Omega versus Brock?
Well, yeah, because that's an easy schedule for him. One match every couple of months.
But yeah, no, it'll be a big pay. That's what I'm saying. It would be great for Brock financially, but is it going to be great for AEW or whoever he faces? I don't think so.
No,
even if it's Jericho, I don't think so.
Want to see it because it's a 1, 2, 3 second match.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know anyone who's excited anymore to watch a Brock Lesnar match.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that. No one wants to see it because we already, especially the way he's booked in WWE, we already see it. It's like he runs over everybody. Like, what was the point of promoting Braun Strowman as like, oh well, he can beat him? No, he can't. He gets his ass whooped within a few minutes. I mean, hell, he got F5'd out of the ring at Crown Jewel. You know, I guess they figured nobody saw that. That was like utter embarrassing to see. How do you put somebody that you're promoting as a big monster just get tossed out like a child? That was so bad. That was I couldn't believe they did that. Why spend the time building him up like that?
Wow.
You know, and again, backstage politics, because we all know it's been known and said, and you could look it up on YouTube. There's video clips. Brock does not get along with Braun. Yeah. He doesn't think he's that good of a worker. He thinks he's still green. Remember the whole thing of getting hit stiff, getting some stiff shots, telling him go easy, and then eventually just punching him in the face. Brock punching Braun in the face, like, hey, stop. You know, he feels he's sloppy. He's just not up to that level yet. He's got the look and all of it, but he's just not on the level in ring. And that's why he wanted, they said it, and Brock wanted to work with Finn. He likes Finn. He likes the whole thing. He wants to work. Did he want to do the job and give him the belt? I don't know. No. Probably not. But we do know it was his idea to give the title to Goldberg because that was supposed to be a one-off. And he says, no, let's throw in a shocker. Let's just have me come in cocky, think it's going to be easy, have him hit me with 2 spears and a jackhammer and call the day, and it'll be a squash match, but it'll be a shocker squash match. And it'll build up for a bigger fight later on. Yeah. And it worked. And hey, that came from Brock. That was Brock's idea. So he knows.
It kind of makes me wonder if Brock is kind of tired of the 1 second match. If he's willing to do that for Goldberg, would he, if he was?
Well, it wasn't. I think it wasn't so much for Goldberg as he saw money. He was like, yeah, we're doing this, but we could make money because people were already paying to see that pay-per-view. How can we drag this out? Well, Goldberg obviously at the time was not in wrestling shape, full wrestling shape to go like a full match. So he was like, you know what? Let's do this squash. You get the title. This gives you time to build up, you know, get into shape, which it did. Remember, he's did all the training videos, showed that he's working out, and then we'll do a real match. And then I take my belt back. And that's what they did. And it worked. It worked. And it's a big payday, 2 big paydays for Brock, from 1 to 2. So it's not so much of him trying to be nice to others as he just trying to figure out how he can make more money out of this. And he saw dollar signs with that. You know, nobody knew. I'm telling you, if you would have told me a few months before that, when Goldberg showed up, that he was going to get the reaction that he did, I would be like, that's bullshit, because no one really cared. He wasn't that good of a wrestler. He just, WWE just put the rocket on him and had him destroy everybody just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
So when he showed up and people were like cheering him and like loving him, I was like, whoa, what's going on? They wanted to see the match. They wanted to see him. So, hey, and then that just shows that Brock, so who knows, maybe it wasn't all Brock. Maybe it was Paul Heyman whispering in his ear, really playing the advocate part. Hey, do you want to make some more money out of this? You know, I think we can make more money out of this. These people actually want to see him in the ring perform. Let's see if we could drag this out a little bit, but don't want to drift too far off. The whole point, for those wondering, we were just talking about if Brock was to show up at AEW, if that whole thing of Jericho trying to tease, like trying to push a fight, and with the money, and that's why we hear about Vince talking about offering all these contracts. I don't think Brock is part of that, because from what I understand, he's not under contract, like exclusive. I think he has a multi event contract, but I don't think it's a long-term deal because him coming back now, from what everyone was saying, all the sites, even Dave Meltzer even said this was a last-minute type of decision because of what happened with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, definitely.
That was the whole thing. But then that's what pisses me off, and probably pisses off a lot of the wrestlers in the back. It's like, there's plenty of guys that you could push to that spot.
Exactly. Yep.
You could have gave Finn back the title. You could give Seth. You could have had, Dean. Yeah, there's plenty of guys in the back deserving of that spot. You didn't need to bring Brock Lesnar back and give him the title and have him continue his reign. There was no reason for that.
I agree 100%. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I will just say this: if Vince McMahon truly is concerned about his wrestlers and the fact that they want to leave, this goes to show you how sad it is for him. Because all you need to do, you need to let them dictate and have more creative control over their characters. If you can't do that, then they definitely should leave and go somewhere where they have that.
Yeah, it's funny because we saw a few years back when he did the Steve Austin podcast, big quotes there, because that was not a podcast on the network, that was a show. But anyway, he comes out on Steve Austin show and he says he wants guys to grab the brass ring. What is brass ring? What does that mean? That means break the rules and come up with your own shit, but then you shoot things down, or you could find them or write them up for breaking script. They don't have that option. So then if they're in the back, some of the ones that have done it say, we're just going to take matters in our own hands. Can we do this? And they let them. It works. Look at the New Day. The New Day did it, and they're still going strong with that. We saw the B team, same thing. They're like, hey, we're going to do something. Can we do something? Because creative has nothing and Vince has nothing. Yeah, whatever. Do it. And they wound up getting over. We see that with some of these people. But he doesn't give that opportunity. Because I'm sure, like you said, I'm sure there's plenty of guys in the back that have ideas. I'm sure creative has ideas. But for some reason, he shoots them down. So I'm hoping that with the slump in ratings and attendance, that he just says, hey, all right, let me take a step back. Like he said a few weeks ago, back in December, when it's like, oh, we're going to listen to you and we're going to do it. All right, well, how about you listen to the people that work for you in the back that say they have all these great stories, and listen to the wrestlers who have great ideas?
Exactly.
Because I get why people look. This has happened before. They're like, oh, well, certain guys they pick up great on the indies. Then they show up and they get repackaged and everything gets changed. And then that's by design and but for a reason, because Vince wants to control everything. He wants to control the name, so he owns the name, and he wants to control the gimmick. So that way, if that wrestler ever leaves, they can't leave with the gimmick or the name. That's why he does that. And you can tell the difference between him and the way Triple H does things, because look at the guys that he signed. Triple H has signed to NXT. Ricochet is still Ricochet.
Yep.
Ricochet is still doing the same stuff that he did, besides being King Ricochet, the cockiness, but he's still the same guy. Vince would never let that happen. He would have never let that. At first, he wouldn't have never signed a little guy like that in the first place, even regardless of how talented he is.
That's true.
But we've seen it with Adam Cole. A lot of these guys that have established themselves with even his gimmick, Adam Cole, baby, all that. That's back when he was a Ring of Honor, New Japan, and that's carrying over. And they're letting it. They didn't say, "Hey, stop doing that. We're going to come away with a new catchphrase."
Well, no. Let's see what happens when he gets called up. And then, if they decide to tell him, "Oh, you got to change some of this stuff."
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like if these guys get called up, I really hope that Triple H has more say in how things are developed for them, so they don't just disappear. Because that's what happens with all these NXT call-ups. They just disappear, or they just go straight into the mid card, never hit the top peak. Look at Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode was the top guy for a long time, and to get the title, did the whole thing. He shows up, nothing. Nothing. Now he's in a tag team. You know, it's like, what happened? And he was a heel. And when they bring him up, they make him a baby face. Nothing about his gimmick screams baby face. That's all heel.
Yeah.
I don't get it. He's great with heel promos for some reason. Nope. He's a baby face now. They want him as a, really? You think people are going to be buying glorious merch? Come on now. He's a heel. Whatever. But it's those type of things that get me upset. You know, even with Elias. People are like, oh, look, Elias. Elias is getting a lot of TV time, but he's not getting the proper TV time. He's singing songs and stuff. Well, he's not getting actual matches. Relevant matches.
Well, I have to say this, and I'm sure that I will anger someone in this chat. I very much enjoyed what they were doing with Elias until they decided, let's bring Double J in for a feud with him. Yeah. That right there, just like, oh no, man, don't do this. So I have no idea what they're doing with Elias now. I just don't get it.
But remember, I said when they announced that Double J was going in the Hall of Fame, I said
you did say
wrestle again.
Oh yeah, you definitely said that. No doubt about that.
He's gonna be a part of creative, and look who's right.
Yeah. Well, what can we say? This is it. And it's funny because he's coming back with that old gimmick too. I mean, we all know him from TNA when he came out with the Danger and all that stuff. He had the new look, better than this Double J. Oh,
yeah, but in WWE, they don't like to acknowledge TNA.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They don't acknowledge that, so we have to go with this whole.
With the guitar thing.
It was so bad, 50
years ago, and watch a balding.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hold it together.
Well,
hey, it happens.
On that note, what's on this card? What do we have to look forward to? Is Double J in the Elimination Chamber?
No, he's not, because he definitely wouldn't survive at least 5 minutes in that chamber. Not at his age.
I think everybody could survive down. Remember, they did the redesign. They added rubber mats to the outside where they used to be just metal grids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember when Alexa Bliss did her finisher, that weird side splash that she does off the top of the cell of one of the cells there, remember?
Yeah, I do remember that, actually. Yeah, well, possibly. We'll see. So, let me go ahead and talk about a few of these matches. There's 7 matches in total for this particular card. I will say right now, not really excited for Elimination Chamber, but we'll see what happens. So the pre-show match, and once again, back to the pre-show we go. The Cruiserweight Championship. Buddy Murphy defending the title against Akira Tozawa. So my pick for this match to win, I still think it's Buddy Murphy. I mean, he obviously is doing a great job as champion. Part of me thought they would give it to Tozawa to, I guess to spurn, Atami, who is no longer with WWE, but no, it wouldn't make sense. I say that Buddy Murphy will leave with the title. So how about you, Dana? Who was your pick for this match?
As much as I would love for Tozawa to win, WWE doesn't respect him enough, so it's going to stay with Buddy Murphy.
That sounds good. I agree. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, Buddy. I mean, he's deserving though. Guy's talented.
Yeah, he is. He's very talented.
He's no 205, that's for sure. Fucking guy's big, but he is talented. He's definitely talented. He's deserving of it, of the title, and of a higher spot than this. I mean, he could be on SmackDown, he could be anywhere. And what I didn't know was that he was married to Alexa Bliss. I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
So that, I'm sure that's another little plus for him, because she's, on everyone in the back's high calendar there. They see her in high regards. So no, but he's deserving. Tozawa is also pretty good, but it's just, I feel like everybody at 205, they got to get out because it doesn't grow. The plan, when I first launched at 205, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. right? I was watching. This is great, and then they were doing the same round robin over and over again, and it just didn't seem like it was growing. It definitely wasn't evolving like NXT.
Yeah.
And so it just felt very stale. And even now it's very stale. And that's why they're sending people out. We have Mustafa Ali. He went to SmackDown.
I'm glad they did that.
Yep. Drew Gulak went to NXT. You got Leo Rush on Raw, also playing as a mouthpiece, but he's also having matches as well. You know, so the Lucha House Party, they're doing stuff. Part of Raw, and some people are like, oh well, Raw, they were already no, they're not doing the ropes. They're not doing 205 matches on Raw like they did before. They're actually part of Raw now.
Yeah,
you know, they're doing those type of things. So, and hell, 205 Live isn't even live anymore.
No, it's not.
So, if anything, I get it. If it fell apart, then merge it with SmackDown or Raw. They're gonna have to do something. I think it's gonna be SmackDown, because if we still listen to the rumors for Fox is that they want a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
You know, SmackDown is a 2-hour show. Well, how do you extend it? Easy. This is how you extend it. Link 205. There you go.
Yeah. That would make sense.
That's it. People are like, oh, they're gonna put NXT. No, that's too expensive. They would have to fly the talent of NXT all around. No, it's cheaper for them to keep them over there in Florida. But 205 talent, they're already traveling. They're already on the road. So just throw that on there, and there you go. There's your 3-hour show.
Exactly. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that soon enough. All right, so we're going to move from a match that I think is going to be pretty decent and exciting to a match that I absolutely do not give a damn about. We have Braun Strowman facing Baron Corbin in a no disqualification match. So my answer to this is, who cares? Braun Strowman will probably win, but it doesn't matter because, as you already said, Adam, they're doing absolutely nothing with this guy. So I still say Braun Strowman wins, but I really don't give a damn about this match. How about you, Dana?
Cold-blooded. Y'all guys are mean. Just mean.
It's not mean. It's just realistic.
Are out there working so hard and you just do not care. How dare you? One of the things I'm with you, Richard. I don't give a flying fart about this because didn't we had it already?
Exactly. Yep.
And during the first time, nobody cared. I don't care the second time. I don't know why Baron Corbin is booked in things. I do see that Braun Strowman is going to probably win. I feel that, but also at the same time, Corbin, who is still around, could easily get Drew McIntyre in there. I think Drew McIntyre is more over than Corbin. So you have that whole factor. So I'm going to probably say a DQ. And it goes to Braun Strowman.
Well, yeah, because it's a no DQ match. So if Drew McIntyre does interfere. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then, Braun. So then that changes everything. Then in Corbin. I mean, but at the same time, you want to go with that whole Strowman is strong, so he could win.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You bring up a good point. Why the hell isn't Drew McIntyre on this card at all?
I don't know. I really don't know. And he seems like they don't know what to do with him, and they stick him with Baron Corbin, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
He's very talented, and he's interesting on his own. Why are they doing this?
Because I think in the back, I think they like Baron Corbin. I think that's it. So if anything, they see this as a plus for him. They give him a lot of mic time. They give him matches. They throw him in top-level matches. But he's involved, but then he's not relevant involved. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's doing this Braun Strowman match, but do we really see him winning and advancing and getting a title shot? No, we don't.
Well, no, because if Seth Rollins wins at WrestleMania, which we all assume is going to happen, I guess you want him to face off against the heels, but they're going to shake things up again anyway. So, I don't know.
I don't care more than I don't know. Like I just why is this? This is not the. This is a pre-show, right?
Oh no, this is on the actual card.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, yeah. The cruiserweight match is the only match that's on the pre-show right now.
Why are they doing this weirdness? Yeah, it should have been a pre-show match, but yeah, I'm gonna just have to go with Baron Corbin because he has Drew McIntyre, who's basically his lackey and not doing anything like wrestling.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, that's a good choice. How about you, Adam?
With the Corbin?
Yeah, Corbin and Braun. No DQ.
No DQ. I see Corbin then.
Yeah.
I don't think about it. It's like this is how he gets his win because it's not clean. So then it'll keep Braun strong because it was like, well, you didn't really beat me. You wound up cheating with such a. Is it really cheating? That's the rules of the match. But whatever. He'll probably find some squirmy way to get through it and win because that's the type of heel they've been building him as. So I could see that. But things that won't go anywhere. Where's it going?
That's a good question.
That's the thing. Where's his progression? I mean, right now, the way I see him is he's filling Kane's spot, Corporate Kane. They're like, wow, Corporate Kane became mayor. So Perry, you can do all of this. You know, he's still wearing the outfit, even though he's not the commissioner anymore. He didn't go back to his lone wolf, right? He's still wearing the vest and stuff. I'm like, yo, if you're not, you know what I mean? It's like if you don't have a corporate job, you don't wear the suit. You know, I don't. So with the same thing with this, it doesn't fit.
Yeah. Well, no, go ahead, Danny. You were saying something.
No, I'm just saying that this makes me even more angry because remember when they did that whole promo and they made a big deal out of the McMahons coming back and firing Corbin?
Yep.
And we'll give you what you want, and he's fired. And he's basically the exact same gimmick.
Yeah. Yep.
Like if I haven't watched in a while and I see him, I would still think he is in charge.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the issue.
The same gimmick and the same matchups because as you said, we've already seen Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin have matches before. So I just don't get it. But as we said, no one cares about this match. So let's move on to another match. Another match that was announced at the last minute recently. We have Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush versus Finn Balor in a handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship. So my thought is that if I'm WWE, you have Finn Balor lose at the last pay-per-view, obviously to Brock Lesnar. So to make people feel good, I figure, well, why don't we have him lose again so he can win at WrestleMania? Because again, WrestleMania is a bigger show than this pay-per-view. So I say Bobby Lashley, he'll find a way to win. They'll probably have the same thing where Finn comes close, but with the assistance of Leo Rush, Lashley wins because it is a handicap match anyway. So I say Bobby Lashley will retain, and Finn Balor will get his rematch at WrestleMania. That's when he'll possibly win the title. So how about you, Adam? Who is your pick?
Maybe they should go with giving Finn a win and giving him a title. That's the only thing I would like to see that because I don't see him actually getting the main title. I don't see him getting any higher. They teased it, they pushed it up there, but I don't think that's where he's going to be. So like, all right, well, let's give him a title and make him happy, and this will make the fans happy. Because right now, the only thing I've seen when it comes to making people happy is just WWE trying to make the people that we've heard on the dirt sheets and online talking about leaving, and then they start winning their matches. Revival, right? We heard that they asked for their release. Things, poof, they won their title.
Yeah,
they got their push, and we heard that the Usos were a little upset about certain things, and then they start getting their push. And so we're seeing this happen with a bunch of these guys. And then I could see them saying, you know what? Well, we want to make Finn happy, which I don't understand why, if you don't want to use him this top guy, but I could see him getting the belt. Bobby, they don't have to worry about it. They just signed him. He has a multi-year deal, so he just arrived. He just came back. So they're like, hey, we could bounce you, bounce all over the place. But he's got something that Vince likes, and what's that? He's big. Yep. He's big. He loves the fact he's big. So as long as he stays big, he'll always be a top guy. You see, and this shows how things work out. It's like he's a big guy. He can't talk on the mic. No problem. We'll just get you somebody to work. Well, for everybody else, it doesn't work that way. If you're not big, it doesn't work that way. Because there's plenty of guys that were not good on the mic, and they didn't get that, and they didn't get the push. And we're like, oh, well, because they weren't good on the mic. Well, get them a manager like you did with the other guys.
Yeah.
What happened with stables? What happened with a manager having multiple people? Why is it just one person? What happened when they were like, if you're a Heyman guy, Heyman only has one guy, then you make it seem you're implying that he has multiple, or he can have multiple. He doesn't have anyone. That's it. And think about it. If Brock is not there, then Paul Heyman is just talking for him, but he's not doing anything else. There's plenty of guys. I mean, we've talked about it with Kevin Owens. That could be something. He could do this with anybody who needs. Shinsuke, he could do it with Shinsuke. He could do it for tons of guys.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But they should bring that back. Bring back managers that have stables, have groups, and just bring them out and do that type of thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have my cruiserweights, I have my tag team, I have my heavyweight guys.
Oh yeah,
remember Bobby the Brain? Bobby the Brain had a bunch. Then eventually later on, Ted DiBiase did the same thing.
Yeah,
that's it. True. Well, yeah, just bring that back. I don't see. I mean, we see that's happening in Japan. I mean, they've always been part of groups. They love the groups in Japan. They loved having gangs and stuff, but it works for them.
That's true.
Think about it. Bullet Club is still going on, and I think everybody's gone. They only have like two, I think Tonga and one other person, the original members. Everybody else is left. You got Anderson is in WWE. We got Finn. He's in WWE. Gallows showed up later, but he's in WWE. I mean, it's just everybody is gone, but it's still going. Young Bucks just left. Kenny Omega just left. They're still doing it. So WWE needs to do that. Like they should have did that even before with D-Generation X. Instead of bringing these old guys back every once in a while, why couldn't you just continue it on? Or, Evolution. Why couldn't Evolution still be a thing? Like the way the Four Horsemen was a thing, where they would just, change one or two people out as, time went on, they moved on, they got older. Why can't we do that? Like that helps people get in. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, we'll see.
It's not their format.
Oh no, it definitely isn't. How about you, Dana? Who is your pick?
My pick is for them to bring back tag team matches. But in regards to this, I am slightly excited to see this for the simple fact that I really do like Lio Rush as a wrestler. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they make him talk. Maybe because he's
little. He can talk. He's fun. That's the thing.
He can talk. I just prefer his wrestling more.
Oh, I do too. But
and I think that's all because of Vince. He's a little guy, so he's not going to have him wrestle that much. But I'm excited for the simple fact that Leo is actually wrestling, and he's amazing. His independent stuff is just amazing. Yeah. But in regards to this match, I do think Bobby Lashley is going to retain just so they can have it at the next pay-per-view. But I would have preferred if it was just Lio Rush versus Finn Balor. I think that could have been really great. But Bobby is still existing. So I have to go with Bobby.
Yeah.
He'll probably be the killer in the match and, ruin the whole flow of things.
Yeah, you see, I think that's a good pick. And I will also add that, Bobby Lashley, obviously, as a heel, is gotten a little bit better than before, but I would say that he should definitely be positioned you know, at the top of the card and feuding with Seth Rollins like he was feuding with him before, because I think that's the path they're going to be heading into later this year, provided that neither of these guys get sent to SmackDown.
Wait, where do you see this improvement at?
Well, say what?
You said that. Where?
Well, I mean, I think he is better as a heel, is what I was saying. Oh yeah, because I wasn't a fan of the face Bobby Lashley, the good guy.
I'm not a fan of Bobby at all, period. But I don't even see I don't see a difference between the heel and the face, aside from like there's no sisters.
Well, no sisters and the vest and just the aggressive nature of, like, you know, I go back to when he had the feud with Seth Rollins, beating down Seth Rollins. I just laugh. The ridiculous attacks out of nowhere, beating the hell out of Seth Rollins.
See, this is my thing. I would have preferred he can be that guy, but he still talks.
Well, yeah.
And even though you have Lio Rush talking for Bobby, I think Bobby would benefit by just not talking and not having anyone talk for him.
Oh well, yeah. No, that's certainly a good point.
So yeah, but I don't see any form of improvement. He bores me.
I just don't like you bore me. Please leave at once. I am not entertained.
Well, so we shall see what happens. Okay, let's move on. We have a few more matches. Okay, let's go to this one next. We have a tag team match for the SmackDown tag team titles. The Miz and Shane McMahon defending against the Usos. So this is what my thoughts are on this match. I think the Usos are going to win because they have this whole storyline of the Miz and Shane. Now they're all buddy-buddy. But we already know that sooner or later they're going to lose those titles. And I'm pretty sure you're going to get Miz versus Shane. I think that match is going to happen at WrestleMania, and this is going to be what starts that because something happens in this match. Either the Usos are going to win straight up, or there's going to be qualification that leads to a rematch, and then that's when the Usos are going to win. But I'm going to say the Usos win this, even though I already know about the whole legal troubles, you know, the whole arrest situation that happened, a couple of days ago. I don't think any of that's going to really change the course of what they're doing with the Usos, because everyone would expect, there's going to be some type of punishment for, because of that incident. But they have shown with their track record that things do happen to some people on their roster, and you think there's some type of punishment coming, but then that person gets rewarded. So I think this is the same thing. I mean, you don't need to have Shane as a champion. I mean, this guy is supposed to be working with the family to build something, to entertain people behind the scenes. So he has to lose that belt sooner or later. Why not let that happen before WrestleMania so that we can have Shane versus The Miz at WrestleMania? But that's my thoughts. I say the Usos. How about you, Dana? Who is your pick for this match?
Okay, so I really hate myself, and I kind of like this match. It's not like so I'm looking forward to it. Like I would watch it, and so it's a weird thing because I slightly am entertained. Well, the Usos entertain me. Then you have The Miz who entertains me, and then Shane McMahon. I'm just waiting to see if he's gonna die at any moment when he decides he wants to leap off of things. But the way how they built it up, I felt that is the strongest of the matches that's on the card, one of the strongest matches, just because of how they built it up. But as much as I don't want to see The Miz and Shane win anything, I think they will retain just because WrestleMania. So that would be the only reason why, and I hope that they break up very soon.
Okay, that sounds good. How about you, Adam?
I don't know why, but I feel that the Usos most likely will be taken out of this match.
Oh, you mean like what? Like an attack or something happens to them?
Yeah, or something. I have a feeling because this whole thing is too fresh with the incident with Jey and the cop. I think they may. It all depends on how they see it, and news seems to keep coming out about other things like, oh, he attacked the cop and this and that. And the last thing they need is more TMZ reporting. Oh, he was in a big match and they won the titles and you know? So I don't see it. I don't see that happening. So I could see them trying to figure out some other way around it and maybe pushing them out. Say, yeah, they got attacked, or even announcing, hey, he was suspended over some incidents that happened outside, and we have a mystery tag team. And that could be anybody. There's plenty of tag teams in the back that can fill that spot.
Yes.
Or putting people back together. We know Matt Hardy is ready to come back. And since Bray is back and Harper's back, if you don't do the Wyatt family thing, because hell, if you're bringing back the Shield, bring back the Wyatt family. But if they don't do that, then you could bring back Matt and Bray. People would be super happy to see that. There's plenty of others that can take that spot. And I could see that happening. So I see mystery tag team partners. Those are the winners. Mystery tag team win the match.
Well, there's certainly it would be good to see some type of surprise on this particular card, because I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to really be any surprises. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's move. Well, go ahead.
If that's the case, then Jeff Jarrett and who's that other one they
brought? Oh, don't go there. Don't. No. Whoa. Now you're talking crazy. We're trying to be serious, Dana. We're trying to be serious here. This is real talk. This is real wrestling talk.
I was right about Jarrett before, though. So
yeah, but he didn't come down with Road Dogg. Road Dogg was there to sing. He even says, "I'm out of shape. I shouldn't be doing this."
Yes, and WWE would like the fact that you got Road Dogg and Jeff Jarrett, stumbling and bumbling and fat, and they win. I'm just saying. You already jinxed it by saying that they're pulling them out of the match, the Usos. So.
Well. One thing I will say is that I have respect for the Usos, but there are so many other teams on SmackDown that they haven't done anything with, and it's just ridiculous sanity. For example, these people haven't. Where the hell are they? And they have been tweeting about this as well. So it just doesn't make any sense.
Heck, I even forgot Bray Wyatt was still a part of the WWE.
He showed up at a house show. That was the last I heard.
Yeah, and they didn't even bother bringing them back for the Royal Rumble, nothing. So I don't get that either. But hey, we'll see what happens. There has to be some type of surprise, right? So
or Kevin Owens.
Well, Kevin Owens, he did that video on, a few days ago saying he'll be back in about a month or so. But he didn't say where he's going, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. I think he should go to SmackDown, since they obviously need more talent on SmackDown. But more than likely, looks like he's going to come back as a face, which I think is excellent. So he can go up against Daniel Bryan if that's where they ultimately send him. But we'll see. To be determined. Okay, next match. I think we all know who's going to win this, but I'll be curious to hear the picks. We have the WWE Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey defending her title against Ruby Riott. So, obviously, they were telling the story of Ronda Rousey looking like a strong champion going into her WrestleMania match, whether it's going to be with Charlotte, whether it's going to be with Becky, or whether it's going to be with both of them. So, obviously, I say Ronda Rousey will win. How about you, Dana? Who was your pick for this match?
Well, obviously, it's Ronda Rousey. I think it's just one of those matches that you just and I'm not saying that Ruby doesn't deserve because she's really nice to see her getting, but at the same time, meh. We all know, and then maybe Ronda wins, Because of not Ronda, Ruby wins but doesn't get the belt because of disqualification from Becky.
Yeah, I think that definitely is probably what's going to happen, because that will make sense to happen. Even though Ronda has nothing to do with the decision that Vince McMahon made, but to get herself back into that match, she could attack her. And then, of course, Ruby Riott, because again, I believe they are building Ruby Riott to something. So if you have her just lose outright to Ronda Rousey, then that's not going to be good for her later.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, yeah, that's a good point you make. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, I see Ruby Riott winning, but by DQ. I think it's going to be a DQ win. Something's going to happen, and that's how she'll win. No title changes hands, but she gets something out of it. It's just too obvious.
And then that'll be Ronda's first loss, which will make it even more.
Yeah, it's too obvious. I mean, if she does win, then they'll just think about what else can you do. You're gonna have the Riot Squad all come out, and Ronda's gonna kick all their asses. It's gonna make them all look weak. It's gonna make them look horrible after this. You can't do that.
Well, they already had her beat up the other two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's already done the beat up, and we saw that last week. I mean, no, we can't do that again. I mean, what's the point of this group then?
Exactly.
Unless they decide to break them up after this. Like, wow, three of us can't beat one person. So, no, I think there's going to be some interference. Something's going to happen. Becky will probably get involved, but it'll be a DQ. I don't see her causing the match and losing the title. Definitely not losing the title. And it's not, like you said, it's not because Riot's not a good performer. It's just storyline wise, and it's too close to Rumble. I mean, to Mania to do a title change like that. And then unless they flip it the next night on Raw. That's the only way I could see it. But then again, that doesn't do much for Ronda. That doesn't do it. So like what? You have Becky come out, interfere, Ruby wins, and she comes out. But remember, Triple H got rid of the rematch clause. There's no longer a rematch clause in WWE. Remember that automatic rematch? Because we were seeing a lot of that. We were seeing, every title that changed hands at a pay-per-view, then the next night they would get, rematch clause would kick in, and then they would win it back or something, and we would see a rematch of what we just saw on a pay-per-view.
But there are exceptions to that rule, because you still have AJ Styles is still in the title match with Daniel Bryan. So they have some. I guess based on their preference, they could change their rule at any time, depending.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. But right now, what they're trying to do is just show that, hey, you're going to see different matchups. You're not going to see the rematch clauses.
Exactly. Yeah. So hey, that's good. That makes sense. Good choices. Okay, so the final two matches. Well, let's go with this match first, because this is probably not going to be the main event. We have the Elimination Chamber men's match for the WWE Championship. We have Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton versus Samoa Joe versus Kofi Kingston, who is replacing Mustafa Ali because he is injured. So I'm going to go to you first, Adam. Who was your pick for this match to win?
With Randy Orton?
Oh yeah, Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan.
Because that's the thing, I kept getting jumped because I know Kofi didn't get involved in this, right? Did they throw him in?
Yeah. Kofi is in the match now. Yeah, he's in the match.
He is in the match.
Yeah, he's replacing Mustafa Ali.
Well, remember, if we go based off of the pattern, Randy Orton did say that he was willing to talk to AEW. So since he said that guarantees he will win this title, because they don't want him to leave because he's Randy Orton. So I could see Randy Orton winning this. And then they could say, hey, Kofi, look, we're throwing you up there. We're putting you in the game. Isn't this good enough?
All right, so I do have a comment to make, but I'm gonna go to Dana first. Let's get Dana. Who was your pick for this match?
Well, in a fantasy world, it would be Kofi, just because what he's pulled off by last week was just amazing, and that match is incredible. So I would love for him to win, but I just don't think that WWE is going to give him that big of a push. And you do have what was previously said before, was the whole AEW conversation that's just hanging over everyone. I would see. I think that Randy might end up winning, and I wouldn't be surprised behind that. But if I'm kind of torn. For me, it will be between Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and Randy. And out of those three, I would probably see Daniel Bryan winning.
Yeah. So that's a good choice.
And plus, Daniel, now think about it, yeah, Daniel just got his new belt.
Oh yeah, the vegan.
The vegan belt, and then he's got his henchman guy with him.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure the henchman will have something to do with this match. We'll get involved.
And I'm also sure that Luke Harper will appear on this particular pay-per-view and reveal himself as another follower of.
Well, that's why I'm hoping that if they're at least if they don't want to put him in that section, they could put him with Bray Wyatt, because we know Bray is ready, and just bring back the Wyatt family.
Well, I have no idea what they're doing with Bray Wyatt, because he should have been returned already. So maybe he's going to end up being in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania or something, and make a return there. I have no idea. Yeah, my pick for this match is definitely Daniel Bryan. It's only because, as you guys mentioned, he does have his belt. But honestly, right now, he is the one that is the most interesting on SmackDown, in my personal opinion. Yes. AJ Styles, it feels like AJ Styles does not need to hold that belt he can continue to wrestle if he wants, but he doesn't need to be champion for that show. At least not right now. He doesn't. He's been champion enough. I think that Kofi Kingston had an excellent performance on SmackDown. This is something that we should have then gotten. And I go back to that moment of when he was getting that push, and the person who prevented him from actually going further was Randy Orton, who was also in this match. So I would love to see him eliminate Randy Orton at the very least.
See, here's the thing. If you look at the pairing, you know that Daniel's going to go after AJ. You see that Samoa Joe probably is going to go after AJ as well. Jeff and Kofi are paired, but that just kind of, I don't know.
Well, originally Samoa Joe was in a feud with Mustafa Ali, so he would have went after Mustafa Ali. And I did hear earlier today that initially Kofi, what he did on this past week, that was the spot in which Mustafa Ali was supposed to be the one putting on the show.
Yeah, they said they filled that.
Yeah. So pretty much now they're looking at Kofi differently and say, okay, so it is good. He can still perform at a high level, even though I would have loved to see Kofi go way to the top. I feel like, they missed that opportunity a long time ago when they had him in a position to do that, and they said no. Just let Randy Orton keep.
It's funny because now that I think about this, that let's say Kofi does get that push again. I'm like, all right, we're putting you back up there. We're giving you the rocket, and you're going up top. They just did full circle because that's where he was before, and Big E and Xavier, they were at the bottom.
Yeah,
remember? And then when he slipped, they created that group, but it looks like they're just going right back. He's going back to the top, and the other guys stay at the bottom. Nothing's changed for Big E and for Xavier.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Plus, on top of that, I will also add that if they were going to go all out and have Kofi win, I think he wouldn't have had that showcase on SmackDown. I think you save everything for him to actually win at the actual pay-per-view, as opposed to showing him, oh yeah, he's doing all this great stuff on SmackDown. Now he certainly has a chance to win it all on Sunday, right? I don't think so. Yeah, I think they would have just had him win on Sunday and do all that on Sunday. Then it would have got a bigger reaction from the crowd and everybody else. It would have been all over social media of that happening because no one would have expected it to happen. But because he was so impressive on SmackDown, I don't think that's going to happen now. But I could be wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong because we even said it with the belt. You don't create a new belt. Go through the process of creating one and introducing it just to have him lose it the next week.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Just it's too soon. Eventually, it will happen. I mean, we saw with Steve Austin with the smoking skull belt. The best belt ever, I think, is with Cena, the spinner. I love that spinner belt. That was awesome. And he eventually lost it.
Yeah.
So, but not right after introducing it. So exactly. That's the one hinder. If we didn't have that belt, then I would say, yeah, this, like I said earlier, I still think about that maybe Randy Orton would get that push, but I forgot all about that belt. That custom belt. It's too soon to get rid of it. Too soon.
It looked like it was made out of cardboard. The belt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Unless just because of what it represents, not the quality. Yeah, it's cheap, but it's what it represents, and it's funny. And just to have it last for a few weeks and then kill it, no, that can be dragged out. We could see all kinds of funny things happen. We could see somebody put it down and pour water on it and mess it up or something, like, there goes your, we could see all kinds of silly things.
Oh, yeah. But and one quick thing I will add to, this might be slightly off topic, but I do believe that, as I said earlier, if Kevin Owens returns, you have an excellent feud right there with him and Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan has been talking trash about the, everyone else, they eat unhealthy, eating animals and stuff like that. We know Kevin Owens is portrayed as sort of the everyman type of character. So that would be a very entertaining feud if that was to happen. But I mean, again, I don't really know what's going to happen with Kevin Owens because he said he doesn't know if he's going to Raw or SmackDown. So if they want a new matchup, that's a good one. I don't want to see him go back to Raw and feud with Bobby Lashley again, even though that's what a lot of people think is going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So with that said, let's move now to what is going to what I think is going to be the main event, obviously for many reasons. We have the tag team elimination chamber match for the WWE women's tag team titles. And by the way, I believe it was Dana who said this match is going to be a mess because of all the people that are going to be involved. So I can't wait to see how they pull this off. So we have Nia Jax and Tamina versus Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, versus Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Naomi and Carmella. So I think I know who my picks are, but I'm not going to go first. I'm going to go to Dana first. Who do you pick to win this match?
First of all, I still think it's going to be a mess. It's because we had the Elimination Chamber last year, and that was a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully they improve. But if I had to pick anyone, I think I want to say Naomi. I just feel that she has it athletically, and she. I don't see a Liv Morgan winning anything, but with her, I can see her winning.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, how about you, Adam? Who was your pick?
I think it's just going to be a heel, whichever team, a heel team. I see Nia Jax going with this one.
Yeah,
it just makes sense, especially the way they're promoting her, and nobody wants to work with her one-on-one. She just hurt people. So it's like put her in a tag team. And they teased that whole mix match type of thing going on with her, but it looks like that's not happening.
Yeah, that's not happening. I know that Ricky is glad that's not happening because you don't want to see Ambrose getting jobbed out to Nia Jax.
Yeah.
So My pick is also Nia Jax and Tamina, and I'm going to tell you why. I agree with what you said about the heel thing, but also because WWE has kept doing this storyline about Sasha Banks being injured. Oh, maybe she's injured, maybe she isn't injured. Obviously, Sasha Banks and Bayley are eventually going to win those titles, but because they are baby faces, I think you want to wait to have that moment in WrestleMania as opposed to now. But they can have it now. I mean, if they want to. But I think having them chase after the belts, looking as though they can't get it done, that is a story in and of itself. Unless, of course, they decide to go back to this weird thing again where now they're feuding with each other. And you wonder, are they going to have a match or are they not going to have a match? But no, I think Sasha Banks and Bayley eventually will get those belts. I just don't think they're going to get it right now because they can chase after the belts. Because, again, there was a report that I think that came out today that said Sasha Banks was cleared to compete. Obviously, though, the injury, she can get injured in that match, or they can sell an injury in that match. So I think they have a chance that it comes down to them and Nia Jax and Tamina as the last two teams, and then Nia Jax, they'll take them out, and then they get a rematch at WrestleMania. So Nia Jax and Tamina, and then of course, Tamina will finally win a title. So I know that Dana will be happy for that because no one would have expected that to happen. So yeah.
Or weird thing. So remember how Nia entered into the men's Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
That whole situation and almost killed what's his name? R-Truth the other time?
Yeah.
What if they have R-Truth come and try to attack Nia?
You mean inside the match?
Inside, if he comes and somehow like breaks open whatever, and that's what happened. Oh no, they're in pods, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, maybe right. They have to. Okay, so they have to run up the ramp and then get inside the chamber, right? Or are they already in the chamber? I forgot how that's set up.
No, they're in. I think they're still in the chamber.
I believe it's going to be two teams that are not going to be in. The two teams that start out are not going to be in the chamber themselves. I think they have to wait to get till they actually are able to come out. I think.
Okay, so if going by the think theory, if it's Tamina or whatchamacallit Nia first, and then Kofi R-Truth goes and tries to take her out. It's weird. I have no idea.
No, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they would bring that back up.
Well, what was the purpose of having her in the Rumble? Like, I feel like they might circle back to that. No.
Nah, because he already won the title. He has a title now, so they've already made up for that. Like, he's a champion. He has no reason for retribution unless he was going after something else. Because then that's continuing a feud. And I don't see them wanting to do that with this.
But I will say this: as an alternative, if they want to completely just surprise everybody, give the belts to Naomi and Carmella. Then you'll have the dialogue back and forth with Carmella and R-Truth, thinking that he should be. When she has a tag title match, he's like, "Oh, so we're going to be in the tag match now, defending the tag." Some stupid thing with the. With the goofiness of his character and her character. So that's a route that they could definitely go if they decide to do that. But I think the heel should win because, again, Nia Jax is obviously over as a heel. The boos, people really dislike that character now. So they are going to use that in one way or another is some type of advantage. Since they already brought her down by having her lose to Ronda at, the last match she had, and then you had her get beat down by Becky. So I think they definitely are going to rebound that and have her and Tamina be a dominant force in this particular match. But we'll see what happens. Yes. So with that said, that does conclude the actual card. So I'm pretty sure that y'all are even more excited for Elimination Chamber now after talking about it.
Wait, that's not it?
That's it.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. There's no other matches on this card. So where the hell is the United States title match?
Wait, what?
Yep. No United States title match. No Raw title match. I mean, no Raw tag title match. Right? And of course, Brock Lesnar is not there. Seth Rollins is injured, so he is not there. So yeah, that's why I said the card is literally it's going to be a forgettable event, except for the women's match could be decent, but
holy smokes, really?
You can actually have like a 2.5 hour pay-per-view.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure they'll find a way to stretch this out. You'll probably have an Elias segment. There'll probably be an Elias segment. There'll probably be a Dean Ambrose once again, and then probably match with EC3 or something like that. I'm pretty sure they're going to find a way to stretch it out.
Yeah, man. At 6 o'clock, the kickoff show.
Oh, see? Yep.
Oh, man.
They'll find a way to stretch it out. The women's match, I'm pretty sure that Elimination Chamber match, that women's match is going to be a little lengthy.
I feel like it's going to be shorter than the men's match, and it might be surprisingly short, just because of how terrible it might be.
That's possible. Oh yeah, that's possible. No doubt about that.
It's really all of the matches.
That's nuts.
Yeah. That's why I say this is going to be a lackluster event. But hey, it'll still be entertaining, right? Yeah. So
I don't believe it. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So on that note, are there any other final things you guys want to bring up before we get ready to wrap up the show?
Nope. That you just said it. Nothing else happens on this. No surprises. This is it. Basically this whole pay-per-view is just built around the women's tag team belts. And
exactly.
That's it.
And I guess Fastlane, which is coming up in March. I don't know what they have planned for that yet.
That I don't understand. What I might be wrong, but I just feel that after Royal Rumble, the next pay-per-view should be WrestleMania.
Well, it should be, but I guess they got to have all these other shows to on the road to WrestleMania. You see that whole thing again, the road to WrestleMania.
It dilutes the importance of Rumble for me.
Oh yeah, and then also the fact that a lot of belts are not even defended on this show. There's no U.S. Championship match, so no Shinsuke will be. He will not be at this event. Maybe he'll make an appearance backstage, but he is in no match. And of course, Brock Lesnar isn't there to sell the match with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is injured, so maybe Seth might not even show up either. I mean, they'll probably have videos that they show, but that's about it. So yeah, as I said, a lackluster pay-per-view, but hey, for those that are looking forward to it, I hope that you are entertained for certain. So on that note, any final shout outs that you want to give? How about you go first, Adam?
Just give a shout out to all the wrestling fans that's still putting up with this shit. That's it. Everybody's still watching, that's still listening. That's like, shit, why do I do this? Why? Because we're creatures of repetition and habits, and this is part of it. This is, it's just part of our life, and we want to get like, all right, what's happening? It's just something that we expect. So
yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's just look past this and let's just hope for the best for this year with everything, with all the promotions, Ring of Honor, Impact, all of them, because competition is great for wrestling because we already see what happens when there is no competition. We're stuck with all this shit. We just can't have WWE and bust. We can't. We need something else. And that's why I hope everything works out with AEW. I hope new stars are developed, and it's not just where did the WWE guys go when they leave. I hope Lucha Underground comes back because who knows? I feel like they're always on the ropes. I mean, their talent has left to every promotion under the sun. So we'll see what happens. Hell, one of their heavyweight champion won his first MMA fight at Bellator. Remember, what's his name? Jake. Was it Jake Hager? I think that's. Remember the guy We the People?
Oh yeah,
Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger. He's the heavyweight champ at Lucha Underground. And then he won his first MMA fight. So who knows, where that whole thing goes for him. Like maybe he'll just drop the belt. It's like, well, I'm a legit MMA guy now. So I won my fight. Now I got other fights lined up. Time to go.
That's true. Yeah.
So we'll see. And then, of course, Pentagon Jr. and all the Phoenix. I don't know if they're even part of Lucha anymore. And we know Monster Matanza left as Jeff Cobb. He's with Ring of Honor. Ricochet, we know, is gone. And he left a year ago. So it's just sad with that promotion because I loved it. Remember, I loved Lucha Underground. And it's just everybody's leaving. Rey Mysterio left. So whatever. Hey, let's just hope for the best with all these promotions. I know a lot of people lost Impact when Impact moved to DirecTV. If you have satellite, you have that channel that they're on. But Pop TV, I mean, I had Pop TV. I don't know if you guys have Pop TV.
I don't.
I don't. I don't know. No, I don't.
Well, it's gone now. It doesn't matter if you had it or not because now it's on a channel that's for satellite. I mean, Impact, they're no longer on Pop, so there goes that. Ring of Honor, I think it's everywhere. Just search your cable box. Some channel is, hosting it somewhere because it's Charter Broadcasting or something. Not Charter. What's it called? I forgot the name of it. But
Spectrum?
No. It's the promotion's owned by a cable company. The cable company actually owns it, and that's why they picked it up because they just want something to fill on some of their channels. It's content. And that's the other thing that why they didn't put much money into it because they didn't really care about it. It was just having a show. But now with all these promotions gobbling up their talent, they're like, all right, wait a minute. Now we have to start paying these guys or else they're going to leave. And then we don't have anything. We've seen a lot of guys from Ring of Honor go to NXT. We have Dijaks, we have Punishment Martinez, and a few other people who have left to other promotions. So they because they were just giving them these small one-off contracts, a lot of wrestlers said that they were just being paid by appearance. So now they're actually offering contracts besides to some of the big guys like Jay Lethal and the Briscoes and stuff like that. So that's good. It's good for the business. We want opportunities for everyone because even if they don't leave, we don't want everybody to leave WWE. But as long as WWE know that there are opportunities for these wrestlers, and these wrestlers also know that there's opportunities outside of the promotion, that gives them some, just like we talked about, like the Revival bitch, and maybe there's no competition in WWE. It's tough, either take it or leave it. But saying that, and they're giving them like, oh no, we want to give you, we'll give you a title. Yeah. And the thing is, it's not about the titles. It's about the whole division. It's irrelevant. Put two guys together. You're like, oh, well, it's a tag team. Come up when they feel like it. How it works. If you're a tag team, you're supposed to be a tag team. Doom, Demolition, your brothers, that forever. Term deals. Gallows, and it looks like that's a long Usos, long deals. That's what we want. Entertaining, it's fun. And then if you ever do break them up, it builds because then people are familiar with the talent. So it's like a band. Band is out there and they're rocking and doing the whole thing. But then when they break up, oh, I know the singer there. Oh, I know that guitarist. I remember when he's part of it. Okay. It helps. It's a win-win for everybody. So we'll see.
We'll see. Any final shout outs for you, Dana?
Shout outs to everybody who is listening and, as was said previously, who keep up with WWE because it's a struggle. But other than that, just thank you for listening and for tuning in.
Yes.
And we're still getting that Jeff Jarrett Road Dogg tag team match.
Oh, you didn't know?
We'll see about that. Yes, so thank everybody for listening and tuning in. Thank all the Patreons for their continued support. Enjoy Elimination Chamber, and we will talk to you all next time.